it's us again, the Noodle.
The Kenzie.
And today, our video is going to we're going to talk about addiction a little bit. And we're also going to show our current awesome shirt of the day. Noodle, what's yours got?
I have worn my Neutrina Enabling Crazy Chicken Ladies since 1921. I did wear this in honor of today. We were going to introduce you to my new chickens, but we ran out of time at my house, and then now we're at Kenzie's house. I don't really travel with chickens, so I can't introduce you right now. So, yeah. But I will later. But that's why I
will be meeting the chickens.
Yes.
And then today I wore my "Y'all Need Jesus," and you gotta say it like that. You gotta be like, "Y'all need Jesus,"
because most of you do.
Yes.
Gosh
knows I do.
Please. All right.
I don't even think he.
So we were talking about addiction today. So I just caught like part of a TED talk about addiction, and it was something I had never thought of before. He said that there was studies done that, well, hey, when you put rats in a cage with plain water and cocaine water, they hit the cocaine water until they overdose and die.
They will also choose drugs to the point where they starve themselves to death because they will pick that over food, which that's a really horrible animal experiment.
It really is.
Like every time they bring that up in addiction documentaries, I'm just like, oh, those poor rats or mice or whatever the case may be.
So he said, you know, there was a scientist out there, I wish I could remember the name, but I don't. I'm Dory. Hi. He was like, okay, maybe it's not about the drugs, maybe it's about the cage, maybe it's about the environment. So he made like rat heaven, and with mazes and little slides and lots of stuff for them to do, wheels, all kinds of stuff for them to do, and then they had the same bottle of water, bottle of cocaine water. Guess what? They hardly ever hit the cocaine water, and if they did and if they did hit the cocaine water, it was like a once and that was fun. Just walked away. It was not like a habity addiction kind of thing.
In other words, if life isn't sucking, you won't hit the cocaine.
Yeah. So
that's kind of interesting.
Yeah, that made sense to me.
I'll have to watch that one. So I watched a show the other day about spice. And I don't mean the kind you put on food. It is synthetic drugs, which they call spice. And it was a really entertaining documentary for me because, well, for one, it was really interesting. And it's all about the spice problem in Wales, I think it was. Not here. But, and they kept using these great terminologies like Kenoodle, which is another way to say cannabis-like or like pot, whatever.
Like marsupial, but
Kenoodle. It was just the funniest terminology I've ever heard. But my favorite part is that the spice, the synthetic marijuana stuff is becoming illegal, and so to get around getting in trouble, the manufacturers will put on the package, not for human consumption. Big letters. And then, on the front, they will put bubblegum flavored. Which...
What was that?
That amused me to no end. As I'm like, I'm pretty sure that cancels out the whole, look, we told people not to eat it, but then we made it flavored like bubblegum. Like, and it doesn't even say bubblegum scent. No, it says bubblegum flavored flavor, which implies eating it in some manner, ingesting it, whatever.
Just crazy.
So yeah, that was pretty funny. And then you watch the people that are high on it, and they're like hugging a pole to stay upright, or they're like passed out half under a car on the street. You know,
how is that fun?
And yeah, I watched that and I think
they paid money for that.
Yeah, and I mean they sought that out. They're like, I want to do this. Just like, you know, after the bath salts thing, when they're like, that guy ate somebody's face, and they're showing all these people that are like zombified looking, and they're like, they're on bath salts, and they're on this, and they're on that. And somebody watched that and went, oh, you know, we should go get that.
Let's go do it.
We're going to try that. We're going to, yeah, it won't
do that
like
to us.
Fun. It looks awesome, though. Like, he is really high, and that looks fun.
Yeah.
It doesn't look fun at all.
It looks dumb.
Yeah, it looks kind of like a waste of planet, really. I mean, like, why do we even exist if these are the things we do? Um, but I watched a lot of documentaries about the opioid crisis. There's, I'm pretty sure, about 1,000 of them on YouTube.
Yeah.
And it kind of covers everything from, you know, like the prescription pills to heroin, which is an opioid kind of thing, to fentanyl, which is this newfangled idea that drug addicts like fentanyl because it's like heroin, but I think they said it's like 10 times stronger. The problem is that they're putting it in heroin, or people think they're buying heroin, or the heroin's been cut with fentanyl or whatever, and people are overdosing and dying from this in like huge numbers. And the addicts will say that they'll find out somebody overdosed, and they will seek out that dealer because that means the drugs were stronger. And I just thought,
That's kind of dumb.
okay, yeah. No.
Listen, okay, so my friend just died from this stuff.
Do you have
Where
another
can I
bag?
get that?
And I love they have these bag. The bag is like this big. But
And it has like the dealer stamp on it, right? Like,
sometimes that's
okay, because on Law and Order, I saw that.
That's more for like LSD and
Okay.
ecstasy and shit like that. Heroin's pretty much just grody little bags that look kind of questionable, but whatever. But I don't really get the opioid thing because I'm personally on opioids for my whole stupid foot thing, and I can guarantee you I have never felt euphoric like these people describe. I have never been like, dude, I should chew these because it'll work faster. They are bad enough to swallow with water or pop or whatever. Let's be honest, I don't drink water. But you know, I mean, they're chalky and they're just gross. And like, it's never once crossed my mind to crush it up and snort it. That's the other thing.
Yeah,
Because that looks like a good time. But I actually asked my doctor. This is so stupid, but I actually asked my doctor like if I was broken or something because I don't feel high or anything when I take my medicine, and she just said that some people are more inclined to latch on to whatever little feeling they get or whatever, and apparently I'm not at risk, a huge risk anyways, for becoming addicted because, yeah, basically all I feel is I take my medicine and then a half an hour to an hour later I go, ooh, my foot hurts less, yay.
Yeah.
That's about it.
I was on hydrocodone when I had my back out
Oh, gee, yeah.
a few years ago, and it was the kind of hurt in your back where I went to the emergency room and they were like, okay, all you have to do is make it like there's like maybe a city block. You just gotta walk about that far up to radiology for the MRI or whatever. And I was like, are you fucking kidding me? And burst out crying. I was brought a wheelchair.
Weren't you doing drugs?
Yeah, at that point they decided to take me to the ER first, and give me a shot of morphine. And they did, and I was just like, I mean, it hit, they had it in my...
Yeah, shots of morphine are way other category. Because,
Yeah.
like, I've had those for my back before and for other things. I tend to have issues. And every single time I'm like, ow, ow, oh.
Yeah, it's
no,
just
ow.
like...
I see, but mine isn't like, oh my god, I
There's
want
no-
this all the time. It's
no.
more,
No,
oh my
it's
god,
like,
thank you, you made it
oh,
stop.
my back just stopped hurting, and I literally, like, she shot it, and
You can feel
I
it.
was
It's
crying because it hurt so bad, and then I was crying because it didn't hurt anymore.
weird. Yeah, like I guess, like I can understand not wanting to be in pain because I have a chronic pain condition and it sucks. Like, it freaking sucks. But I don't, like, I've had several morphine shots, and I guess I was on Dilaudid when I was in Dilaudid when I was in the hospital or whatever. I never once was like, oh, that felt so good, I want to do it again. It was more like, oh, that made it hurt less.
Yeah.
or whatever. So I guess we're kind of in the safer level of like a lesser risk of addiction, I guess, which is hilarious because we both have some issues in our background.
Holy
That
shit.
like when I watch Intervention, I'm like, oh, you please.
That's cute.
That's so adorable. Your daddy didn't hug you enough. Oh,
Oh.
yeah, no wonder you're on heroin.
Mm-hmm. Whatever.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense to me at all. So, like, if you went by that, then we should be, like, top of the line of people that could get addicted.
We should be in the gutter right now.
Yeah, we should be, like, shooting shit up, but...
No, we're great. We're great. And you know what? I think it's because we have such great support systems we've created for ourselves.
Yeah, that, and we're intelligent enough to know that certain things just aren't good ideas.
Exactly.
Yeah, like, you will never catch me crushing up my pills and snorting them.
No.
And another thing is, like, how do people know how to do these things? Like, the only
Do they
things I
watch
know about
movies?
drugs are, like, what I learned on Intervention. And,
Pulp Fiction.
yeah, like, and where do you find dealers? You know what I mean? Like, how do you even come into this? Like, I guess maybe you have to know people to know these things. I don't know. Like, I've known people that did drugs. I've known people that sold drugs, I guess. One or two people. But not, like, that's not why I knew them, It was like I kind of found out later that they were into that kind of thing. But, I mean, unless you stumble across them, like, are they in the yellow pages? Like, just like, how do you find a hitman? I've always wondered that, too.
Heroin.
Heroin dealer right here. Okay, we got it. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm
Oh my god, we just
sheltered.
dated ourselves so hard with the
Yellow
pages.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay though, because guess what? I still occasionally use mine.
Yeah.
I'm weird like that. Another interesting addiction thing is my strange addiction, that show with the freaky things people do.
No, is that Netflix or Hulu?
I watched it on Netflix, but I think they switched it to Hulu. Not really
Just
sure
in
on
case
that.
somebody wanted to
It
check
is, you can see clips on YouTube as well. But some of them I'm like, it's not really an addiction. They're just freaky. Like the lady that, I still don't get this one, but she missed her husband so much that she would lick her finger and dip it in his ashes and eat them. No lie. They showed her doing it.
That's gross.
And that one I don't get.
No.
Or like the lady that's like does the air freshener thing. Did you see that one?
No.
Yeah, she like eats air freshener. Like sprays it in her mouth. Like, ugh. I've smelled most of that. No.
No.
And
One of the first ones I ever saw was this chick who would chew off ends of her hair and swallow it, and she ended up with a hairball in her stomach. And that's when
Yeah,
I was
ew.
like, I was so grossed out, I stopped watching the show.
yeah, the one that got me was the diaper lady. Oh, I still don't understand this. She would go to her friend's house and like raid her diaper genie
Seriously,
and
y'all.
find the ones that were heavy with pee, and then she would like sniff them and like put her lips over her teeth and like bite on them, and like, how do you even realize this is a thing for you? Like, do you just one day and like look at a random
what'd
diaper
be,
and go,
like-
it'd be good. I bet that diaper tastes good.
And I would just like gum it.
Because yeah, you don't want to bite into it. It's not an apple. It's a diaper. But no. I mean, she carried him in her purse. It was disgusting. And she was pregnant with her own kids, so she was gonna have her own supply soon, so she wouldn't have to steal from her friends.
Oh my god. You didn't tell me that part.
Yeah, that's.
Oh my god.
That's when her fiance was like, "You need to get help because this is gross." And I was like, "Really? It took that?" 'Cause,
That's it? That's the line?
yeah, I would think that the fact that their apartment smells like pee all the time would be a good motivator. But or the one where the one that freaked me out because I have a phobia of these kind of things was the guy that would put leeches on himself every day, numerous times, and I don't like leeches. I don't like any bug that attaches itself to people. It freaks me out. So
It's not okay.
like watching him try to nope.
No.
All the nope. Like
All
of
my
it.
note.
Just not ever.
And tomorrow's reserved too.
Yep.
No.
Nope. So that show I don't really take seriously as an addiction show for the most part.
And you said, wasn't he like, well, that's what they did
Yeah,
back then.
his defense was that that's how they used to care for a lot of sicknesses and things, is they
You know
would
what?
use leeches.
We're not in the 1800s anymore.
They also used to think that, lobotomies were the cure for depression, things like that. They used to have to cut your leg off if your toe got infected. You know what I mean? Like, that's not... And the doctor looked at him like he'd lost his mind. He's like...
He might have.
Yeah, that's not a legitimate argument.
That's not a thing.
So, yeah, but real documentary things, there's a ton out there about the opioid crisis. They've actually, announced it as a health crisis in the U.S.
Right now, yeah.
And it is kind of scary. Like, you see all these people, and a lot of people, this really annoyed me. They talked about how a lot of people are against Narcan being available for family and friends of addicts and things like that, or for addicts, because it just encourages them to keep using because they know they're safe. Bull. Okay? Because if you're an addict, it doesn't matter if there's Narcan or not.
You're not going to want somebody to take away your high.
Yeah. And also, you're going to use no matter what. So, Narcan or no Narcan doesn't make a difference, except for it could save a life.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, that's a big argument that they're having, is that they shouldn't be spending all this money on providing Narcan to people, and people shouldn't be able to get it over the counter and stuff. And I'm sorry, I just think that if you look at any addiction documentary, it's BS. It's total crap. Because a user's going to use no matter what.
User's going to use.
They don't care if there's Narcan. Yay if there is, but they're going to use it anyways. So, and they'll tell you that, they used before there was Narcan, they're going to use whether there is Narcan or not. It doesn't matter. That they're not going to be like, oh, well, it's safe to use. It's not safe to use ever. So, just like some people are really trying to campaign to make it legal to basically give addicts a prescription for heroin, or basically like a medical grade heroin, so that it's a known quantity and it's safe. Like, it's not going to be laced with anything, it's not going to be cut with anything weird, whatever. And people are like, you can't do that. That just encourages people to use. But the people they're wanting to do this for are people that are already using, and have been for quite a while. And they're to the point where their bodies really don't function without it. So if they ever want to get to a point where they can cut back, they're going to have to do it, be monitored and everything. And that's what it's for. It's not to just provide them with heroin for the rest of their lives most of the time. There is one out there that they're trying to do that just to keep them safe. And it does. Heroin is a really tricky drug, because once they're on it, like in fentanyl too, and any opioids, once they're on it, their body becomes so dependent on it that they literally cannot function without it. They get super sick. I knew a woman personally who had become addicted to pain pills, and I didn't understand at first what was going on with her, but she had a lot of injuries and surgeries and health issues, and she'd been put on, I think it was oxycodone, one of the codones, and she'd been on it, and at such a high dose for so long that when she would run out, she would become so ill. She couldn't get off the couch, she couldn't function, she couldn't go to work, she couldn't eat. She was just, it was the most disturbing thing. And when I finally figured out what was going on, it was even more disturbing, because it wasn't all in her head, a lot of people say that kind of crap. It wasn't. She was in pain, she was suffering, and that's what most of the documentaries, that when they interview users, they always say how horrible it is to go through withdrawal from opioids. They say it's worse than almost any other drug they've ever encountered, because it literally, your body has become so dependent on it that when you don't have it, it's like having the flu times 100, between body aches and nausea and, yeah. So I don't know. I don't know. I just think the whole thing is just fucked up. And
Really?
I'm not gonna be playing with that, any of it. And meth? You ever seen a picture of meth mouth?
Iowa is a little backward. Like, we haven't quite caught up with the opioid crisis, I think.
Well, maybe in
I
other
think
cities,
we are
but
like,
around these parts.
I mean, Iowa is like all about the meth. You see it in, you know, the news all the time, and
Well,
everybody knows a tweaker.
when I worked at, oh gosh, yeah, there's so many tweakers around here. When I worked at the dollar store is actually where I learned the most about the ingredients that you buy to make meth. And it was really interesting to me, like, we had to keep the instant cold packs behind the counter, we had to keep lithium batteries behind the counter, and we had to keep certain cold pills behind the counter. And it was just funny to me that, like, most of the people I knew that would come in and buy these things, I wouldn't trust them to bake a birthday cake, let alone make meth. You know, like make drugs
you're
that
gonna
are
mix chemicals.
super dangerous, you know. And yeah, around here, I did get to see meth once. Not on TV,
I never
even
have.
in person, because I can tell my story.
Yeah.
Okay, this is a good story. Pull up chair, kids. All right. So when I was working at the gas station,
By the way, when I first got my caption call phone that has the captions when your caller calls you, and it puts the words that they're saying up there so you can actually converse on the phone, so I can use the phone. This was the first call I had made to Mackenzie, and
I shared
the
my story.
operator was probably telling stories in the break room later. Okay,
Yeah.
go.
Because this is a great story. So I was working at the gas station, and I had just cleaned the bathroom, best job ever. And we had a lady come in, lady left. My coworker went in to use the restroom. She came out, her eyes are huge, and she asked to go outside and use the phone or something, and I was like, okay, whatever. And she's like carrying something, and she put it in the office, and she went outside. And when she came back in, she informed me that she had found meth in the bathroom, and I was like, really?
Somebody
How do you know?
left meth in the bathroom.
Yeah, that's the best part, is somebody forgot their meth in our bathroom.
At the dollar store.
Yeah, not really, no, at the gas station. The gas
Oh,
station.
oh.
Not really sure how you accidentally leave your meth in the bathroom, but whatever. So, I, being the complete dork that I am, immediately went, can I look at it?
Can I see it?
Because I've never seen meth in real life. I've seen it on TV and shit, I don't know. So, she let me see it, and it's so funny to me because this is apparently the good stuff, which I'll get to that thing in a minute. But, it looked to me like the little crystals that you would buy, the little, like, elongated crystal crap that you would buy for like making your own jewelry or whatever. And honestly, if I had seen that in the bathroom, I would have had no idea that it was meth. I probably would have thought, oh, somebody left their crystals in the bathroom and thrown it in the garbage or whatever. Or went out and asked my coworker if she wanted them because she makes jewelry and stuff, which would have been awkward. Here, you want this? And she'd be like, no, I don't want your meth, you know. But
No meth for me, thanks.
so
I'm driving.
here's where the story gets even better. Okay, so she had called the cops. And, sorry, it just makes me laugh. And then the phone rang, and it was for my coworker, and I gave her the phone. And she went out to take the call, and she came back in, and again, her eyes are like frickin' saucers. And she's like, oh my God. And I was like, what? She said, she just called, she just called to ask me to hold on to it for her. And I went, what? Apparently, the person who had used the bathroom and left their meth behind decided to call our gas station and tell my coworker, hey, I left my meth in your bathroom. Could you grab that and hold on to it for me? I'll be back in a minute to get it. So, the cops come, and we give the drugs to the cops, and while we're talking to the cops, a National Guard guy in uniform and all that had come to get gas, and he came in, and they're all oohing and eyeing and talking about how this isn't just any meth, this is the good stuff. And I'm like, there's good stuff? Because, I mean, it's meth, and not known for being like the most high quality, awesome stuff ever. I mean, for the most part, it's cooked by a bunch of hillbillies and shady circumstances. But apparently this is the good stuff that actually did look like crystals, which apparently doesn't always. Who knew? But, so they decide that they're going to go hide their cars and, like, lie in wait for her to come back. So I'm like, this is getting good, right? Because I don't get out a lot. This was like the highlight of my month. Maybe my year. Who knows? So the cops go and they move their cars and they come back in and they hide over in this like darkened area where people eat breakfast in the morning or whatever. I turned the lights off already because I cleaned it. So they're over there in the dark, sort of. And the lady comes back. Mind you, this is the same woman who left her meth in our bathroom. So not the sharpest tool in the shed, but I swear to God, the woman has never seen a TV show on how to make yourself not obvious, because what she did was she walked in, saw the cops, walked right out the other door.
Because, you know, how, as one does.
Yeah, because every day people just come in the gas station and then leave. Don't buy anything, don't say anything, just in one door, out the other. And so, of course, they went after her, and apparently, I don't know, she was never charged or something, I don't know.
Well,
But
they couldn't prove anything.
yeah, they couldn't prove it was hers, even though if they'd watched the cameras, they could have, because I had just cleaned the bathroom, and she'd been the only person in it, except for myself and my coworker. So really, we probably could have proved it, because it's not like we're going to be dumbasses and leave our meth in the bathroom, because guess what? We don't have any! So, but yeah, that was like my meth story, and it still cracks me up that bitch left her meth in the bathroom.
And then called and said,
yeah, could you hold on to my meth?
I left my meth in the bathroom. Hold on. Okay, I'll be right back.
Who does that? Oh, that's right. Hillbillies. So, yeah, and my coworker was all freaked out. It was really funny. But I was having the time of my life because, like I said, I don't get out a lot, so I was thoroughly, it was like watching cops in real life. Except for they didn't tase her, which I was really hoping they would tase her because I'm still waiting to see somebody get tased in real life, but take what you can get, I guess.
You know, also, like, if you want to see a very, very entertaining, I don't know if you can call it a documentary. Probably you can call it a documentary because it's all true, and it's just like, it's called The Wild and Wonderful Whites of West Virginia.
Oh, Lord, that is a show and a half.
Lots of hillbillies, lots of drugs.
Not a lot of teeth.
Yeah. Very deficient in teeth.
Yeah.
Wow. I mean, you just gotta see this, y'all. You got to.
That's Netflix, right?
No, I think I had that on DVD.
I thought it was on Netflix too, though.
Was it?
Yes, because Tom told me to watch it.
Oh,
It's
okay.
Netflix too, or it was. I don't know.
Or it was
it's still
at
on
that
there.
time or whatever, but it's on DVD.
You know,
If
Netflix
you can't find
messing
it
with
on,
y'all about that.
you know, streaming, you can find it on DVD.
So yeah, but yes, overall, we've decided definitely drugs are bad.
Yeah, we're not doing those.
No, I got enough issues.
Yeah.
I really don't need to deliberately.
I carry Ativan like everywhere I go. It's like my rescue drug for panic attacks. And I was visiting a friend in Chicago.
I have some lorazepam I carry. Isn't
That's
that
Ativan.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I have some too.
Yeah. And I was, excuse me, I was visiting some friends in Chicago, and one of them, I don't know how it came up, but I was like, yeah, I carry Ativan in my purse for rescue drug for panic attacks. And he's like, oh my God, can I have one? I mean,
Awkward. No.
well, you know, it was two people that you know very well, and they were kind of family, and I was just like, okay, I mean, I'll give him 1 milligram. So I did, and I gave it to him. I'm like, I don't understand, like, what this does for you.
Yeah.
Because all it does is make my panic attack stop. I don't, like, feel high. And he was like, oh, it's the best, it's awesome, whoa. And before I left that weekend, he was like, so how many do you carry with you?
Oh, hell no.
And he was like, can I just get like 10? No. No,
Big no.
absolutely not.
Big no.
I know.
I had somebody try to buy, back when they were trying to figure out how to work with my, squirrel thing.
Yeah.
They'd give me actual Ritalin, which did not work. Like, I was even more distracted than normal. But I had all this left over, and I had somebody who was like, I'll buy that from you. And I was like, yeah, right. He's like, no, seriously. I'll buy that from you. I was like, the hell you will. That's illegal, and I don't want to jail. No. Like,
I wish I had like pure intentions like that, because when Strattera was not available as a generic, I had to be switched to Adderall, which, you guys, there's like so much in the news about the kids and the Adderall. The shit sucks. If
Yeah.
you seriously, I don't know,
That
this
didn't
is
work
just
for me
my
either.
brain, but Strattera works great for me,
Mm-hmm.
and now it's a generic, it's great. But at the time I was on Adderall for like a year and a half, almost 2 years, and somebody offered to buy some from me, and they were willing to give me like $20 a pill or something. I was like, number one, you're dumb for thinking that, like, I mean, seriously, $20 a pill?
Well, they can sell it for way more than that. Like, he was
Really?
telling me, the guy that
I have
offered
no
to buy
idea
from
what the
me.
street value is.
See, I watch a lot of cops, so I was like,
Okay.
as much as I wanted that money, don't get me wrong.
No, I was like, dude,
I wanted that money.
I'm not selling it because
But-
I need it to survive.
Mine was just like, well, I was gonna flush it, and he was freaking out, and I was like, dude, I don't. This face, not cut out for prison.
No.
No, I cry over puppy commercials, for God's sakes. I am not cut out for prison. But all I could think is,
Can you imagine her being somebody's bitch?
mm-mm.
No.
I would not. No, I'd be in the fetal position, curled up behind a toilet somewhere or something. I just no. I am not cut out for a life of crime, at all. But when he offered that money to me, he flat out told me he could turn around and sell it for twice what he would pay me. And I thought, okay, one, that's probably not the best way to get me to sell it to you. I'm gonna buy this, but I'm kind of ripping you off. No, But as much as I would love money, I really love not being in prison more.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to turn him down, which may sound like he was like really sketchy, but he was a really good kid who just made a lot of really stupid choices.
You know what? I think that's a lot of addicts right there.
Yeah.
Really, actually,
Well,
pretty
and-
good people, but it just made some
And
really stupid choices.
he was the reason I changed my viewpoint on some things, because he got busted for selling, for dealing, whatever you want to say.
Slinging.
And, I was like, what an idiot, da-da-da. But then, here he is doing this very little work, and he is rolling in the dough. He can buy his kids anything they want. He can have anything he wants. Anybody he knows needs help, he can help them out. And he did. He was a good guy. Except for that whole drug dealing thing.
Yeah.
And he gets out of jail, and he tries to go straight, whatever,
Right.
And he can't make shit. He's
Yeah.
working his ass off. And because he has a record now, he can't make any money. And not that you can make money without a record, let's be honest. I had 2 freaking degrees, and I was working at a gas station. But anyways, so I saw him struggle time and again. Like, he would try so hard to do the right thing and everything, and then he would get sucked back in because it's easy money.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're used to being able to get the things you need and the things you want, and then you go and you're not doing much work for it, and then you're working your ass off and you can't do any of it, you can't even make bills, I can see where that would be hard. Like, if I was brave enough, I can see the draw of selling drugs, but I'm not brave enough because, again, mention that again, prison.
I'm gonna be honest with you. Tom and I have been through some rough times, and there was actually a point in time when we were so desperate, like in foreclosure, no food in the cupboards, and we were just like, I was like, I know a guy that will teach us how to grow pot. We need money. Let's do it. And he was like, we can't do that. It's like, dude, that's super illegal. I'm like, we're like soccer parents. No one's gonna look. No one's gonna come raid our house. You know, in the end, we didn't do it. But I seriously, honest to God, seriously considered it.
Especially when you are working so hard and you're getting nowhere. So, you know, like, obviously, we do not endorse doing that
No.
because it doesn't end well. You know, yeah, you're rolling in money for a while or right up until you're in prison.
Yeah.
But, you know, when you judge people, you should try to think about it, you know, like really see the struggles some people go through. And like I've been there when you have no options. You don't know what to do, where to turn.
Broke as fuck, looking to be homeless, hunger pangs.
And, you know, I can see where if you were someone that had experienced having all this money in the past, you'd go right back to it. Because,
Totally get that.
yeah, like I said, if I had the balls and I wasn't afraid of prison, I'd be all about it. Because, man, I remember literally piles of money this person would have. And I remember thinking, maybe drugs aren't bad to sell. But, yeah, he never got away with it, really. You know, like, he'd do good for a couple of years and then, boop, get caught.
It's always gonna sneak up on you.
Yeah, it never ends well. So, just don't. Just suffer with everybody else. And that's really our show for today.
Yeah. So addiction.
Yeah.
So there you go. I don't know if you got any thoughts. Leave them down there below.
Yeah, let us know. And, yeah, that was all
Right.
for this one.
Hashtag always keep fighting.
Peace.